Hey, isn't that the Attack on Titan video you promised us? Shh. We're here now. P.S. There's spoilers in this video, so you've been warned. So without further ado. Hello, my name is Easy Peasy, and I'm here to make it easy for you. Let's get it. After a banger of an opening and a couple years of begging them to put their opening song on Spotify, the story begins where we left off on season 1 in a meeting with higher ups, with 2 new characters being introduced. We already know they're both executioners by how they're dressed. First, we got Jika, the old head who's been working since the meteors crashed on Earth. The higher ups asking him about how he survived being sent to the island. Jika explains criminals get sent to the island with an executioner by the shogun looking for the elixir of life, saying he returned because of the overbearing guilt of letting his criminal be murdered in front of him. You know he let that nigga die. You can tell Unk he hates his job and these niggas. Jika tells them he somehow made his way home to apologize to the criminal's family, telling the higher ups that the island is not of this world and only kids poke beehives, indirectly calling these niggas stupid. But as the officials started crashing, Shu apologized in his place. We're gonna call him Shu even though his name's Shugen because I can't pronounce Shugen for some reason. The official continuing was stopped by his partner saying, "Bro, do you know who that is?" He replies, "Who gives a bro, pick anybody else, please," looking at him like this. The official apologizes, then rushes to tell them that they've been sent to the island to observe by the shogun. They both leave. Shu presses his boy Jika, telling him, "I ain't doing that again, fuck nigga." Jika recognizes his gangster apologizing. Shu telling Jika we gotta stay focused as they walk to their next destination. Shu tells Jika that I have to make Aizen Dono proud, also explaining that they got backup on the way. 4 great shinobi sent by their leader, all from these niggas' names is difficult. From Gambimaru's village, then crying, saying he's worried about all the other members, Tiza, Kishno, and Sagari. Not one prisoner's name came out his mouth, so you know it's kill on sight the second he sees one. Running into a villager, asking about this thing in the middle of the town. Jika remembering, oh right, I completely forgot to show the higher ups this, forgetting that he left this big ass monster that he slayed on his way off the island in the middle of the town. Apologizing to the villager, saying, "Let me take you to the pleasure district sometime, or would you rather pull up to my crib?" Seducing this nigga in broad daylight. As Shu walks up to the monster, the villager warns him to be careful. Shu telling him what for. It's already dead. After sensing no life energy coming from the monster, leaving, telling Jika to come along, they both meet up with the Yamada clan members, picking up the rest of their squad, preparing to handle the ops standing in their way. Speaking of ops, the leader of their ops, Rien, the Tensen's leader, explaining that Tao is life energy that affects the body and the soul. You know how in Hunter x Hunter when Gon used too much Nen and he became like a really dried out grape? That is the same thing that will happen to you if you use too much of your Tao. So stop watching all that stuff on Twitter. While explaining this to his servant, his homegirl walks in. You'll know why I say that later. Reminding both of them that they agreed to not talk about Tao here. He apologizes, bending his head down, and she forgives him, showing off their new crib. But this is actually a new Tao training facility. Asking Rien if he fucks with it. Rien giving it his nod of approval, explaining how you can train in Tao with breathing techniques, meditation, and Bonu no Jutsu. What is Bonu no Jutsu, you ask? If I showed you, YouTube would probably take me off the map. So I'll explain it to you this way. When 2 people really love each other, they get it in, bruh. That's what they're doing, bro. They're getting it in, bro. The other Tensen head blew off, bro. That's what happened in that scene. These niggas are nasty. After practicing Bonu no Jutsu, Homegirl offers the Tensen a drink, juicing from this fresh collection of human heads. Giving the drink to Fa, but Homegirl says she forgot to get the stuff that makes the drinks glow different colors. Note to self, drink all glowing drinks. Homegirl then asks Zu where's the glowy stuff, but Zu says I don't know, as we see Sagari's group is camped out in another part of the Tensen's castle, grabbing the playbook and telling them the plan, finding Gambimaru and the others. But Ria says it's better if we just leave, forget them. We have the Tensen and these nasty ass monsters to worry about. We should just leave, forget the mission. Sagari refuses, standing on 10 toes, calling Ria on her bullshit, saying you just want more of our clan members on your side, so when you do go back, you can sway the Shogun's opinion in your favor. Ria saying, I guess you noticed that, huh? Getting her hands grabbed and Sagari pleading to her that it's best if we stay together. In her logical mind is Ria reassuring, we need those type of IQ plays on our court. Rhea agreeing, then says Gambimaru actually was already here, and what are we gonna do about his wife? Long story short, with Tao, you can create illusions on some Ichigo Bleach Aizen type shit, making people believe what you want them to believe. And Rhea believes that Gambimaru's wife is actually a fake conjured up by the village's leader. That shit crazy. Sliding to my nigga Gambimaru and Dragon Slayer Gentetsu, questioning Mei if this is the right route to the Tenshin's castle, and Mei telling him that she's not a liar, with the rest of the group following Gambimaru's lead as he's touching his head. But remember, in season 1, he got amnesia and memory loss, forgetting that he had a wife, and the reason why he came here was to get back to her, running right into Aza Chobei. Now, all anime fans know every show has their own smoke demon, and in this anime, if we're talking smoke demon, Gambimaru is definitely top 1, but the only person that comes second to him is this nigga right here, putting down his luggage, winding his kick, kicking Gambimaru backwards. But Gambimaru was unfazed, dashing at Choso with a parry, shoulder climb, and a neck crack, all in one motion. Getsuya calling the fight boring, but Mei calling out to Gambimaru, telling him Chobei's Tao is big, really big, as Chobei is standing up into a Gambimaru slam into the ground. The group figures out Chobei is healing somehow, telling Gambimaru with no memories that he's one of those immortal creatures that he can use to get information out of with the kick, but Chobei catches it, grabbing his leg and then slamming him again like he's Loki. Chobei says that's adding one more to the list, into hearing Gambimaru laughing. He must be pretty confident to be laughing like that, huh? Damn straight. Pulling up the ski mask, shooting a pebble as a feint into his signature two-piece, backhanding him twice, then clawing out his eyeball, saying even if you can regenerate, you can't see shit. Chosei stopping him with his foot, and I know that shit stank, bro. It stunk so bad that it had knockback. Gambimaru spitting out blood, but actually it was the tendon of his foot. Chobei responding, saying that's not nothing humans do they? And they get to scrapping. Gambimaru hitting the give me a Scooby snack ass pose, blocking into another eye gouge, mounting into a chomp of the corroded artery. Even their group is saying they're fighting way too hard, pairing it to wild animals. But Getsuya noticed something's off. Man, this nigga weaker than before. What's going on, Mei? Mei having Tao manipulation lets her see others' Tao, saying that Gambimaru's Tao is all wrong, saying that being weak is the seed of the strong, and being strong is the seed of the weak. And since Gambimaru doesn't have the memories of his wife, he doesn't have the seed of the strong. Chobei smiles, knowing it's only a matter of time, sending his brother Toma, his executioner, on a lick to kill their group, and he runs straight for Getsuya, trying to stab him, but Getsuya catches his blade with his bare fingers, pissed off, asking why he started with him first, robbing Amon of his blade, grabbing him by his shirt. Don't underestimate me, boy, headbutting him into the ground, giving Amon his sword back, then telling Amon, take your blade, I only need one arm to beat you, boy. But Fuchi, his executioner, tells him you can't kill him because he's part of the Yamada clan. But Getsuya says, I don't care. Anybody who underestimates me loses a limb. At this point, Amon, stay your ass down. Bro's about 7 feet tall, moving like a point guard, playing every position. There's no way you're beating this guy. Amon tells himself that since he's big, I could just use his reflexes against him. Going for his body, but gets met with a blow straight to the face. Going for his toes, but gets his blade stepped on. Then he just starts beating him as he's teaching him about why he's such a trash swordsman, alongside Gambimaru and Chobei exchanging a variety of different blows and parries, showing their fight is at a standstill. But Chobei figured out Gambimaru's movements, reading his Tao made him predictable, dashing straight into a hammer fist, forcing Gambimaru to forget remembering everything and just let everything go, because that's what he was taught in his village as a shinobi. If your enemy is too strong, take that nigga down with you, activating his technique, aesthetic blaze, lighting himself on fire, but then using Nimpo Pyro Bridge, setting Chobei on fire, then letting the rounds off with Nimpo Stone Storm. Gambimaru leaping into a grab, burning both him and Chobei alive. I never really remember the details of this lick, but it doesn't matter. In the end, that's just our job as shinobi. I have nothing to lose. I'm replaceable, but you and your brother, you're not. And Chobei agrees, you're right, saying I don't need anything else, even my humanity, letting his Tao run wild, going berserk, sending attacks at Gambimaru from every direction, countering with Pyro Bridge, blocked by Chobei, jumping into an overhead block by Gambimaru, getting forced into blowing up the whole spot, stepping back but running out of breath, and Chobei running out of time, sending multiple barrages at Gambimaru, but white hair equals Ultra Instinct. But things are starting to get dark for Chobei, with Amon calling out to him, snapping him out of it, telling him he's sorry for being so weak, that you had to turn into a monster to win a fist fight. Distracted, Gambimaru goes for the back door, putting his hot ass breath into a final attack, but Mei knows if he uses any more Tao, he'll die, using her technique to destroy the floor below them, catching everybody off guard. But hey, Gambimaru kicks one more boulder, hitting Chobei in the head before the fight is over, as he's putting Amon up there with everybody else, saying, "Wait for me, I'll be back," falling, disappearing into the darkness. This nigga Gambimaru is petty as hell. Nigga, I'm already falling. Why are you throwing boulders at my noggin? With Mei overextending herself and growing in more ways than one, passing out with Gambimaru and Amon. Time skip as they recover and run into Sagari's group, then putting their heads together. Speaking of heads, Gambimaru's head is still empty, waking up and going after his own allies. But Sagari notices, since being his executioner, that he is not in his right mind, noticing and saying, "Let me handle him," pushing him down with her sword, getting on top of him and healing him. Getsuya asking, "Is that Bochu Jutsu?" Mei confirming that it's not, but something similar, healing him through touch, recovering what he lost, as Chobei is also lost, recovering his arm and then running into a small army of mobs, saying that he hopes their flesh is tasty, coming back to Gambimaru and his group, telling him that his wife is just a fake after just getting his memories back, with Ria telling him that their village leader has been showing him illusions this whole time to manipulate him. But Gambimaru says, "Shut your bitch ass up. The goal is still the same. I'm still going after my wife," giving his team an extreme morale boost. As Chobei is finishing the job, saying, "Y'all niggas taste like shit," right as Rien lands right behind him. But we cut back to Fuchi and Sagari's group as they prepare medicine to help Mei, but Fuchi wants information on who she is and the Tenzin and their objective, while Gambimaru and the rest who can fight are outside. Getsuya asks Gambimaru, "Why did you want us outside?" Gambimaru says, "My memories aren't back, but my senses are a bit dull, so I need a quick fade to get them sharp again." Getsuya replies, "You mean you want all of us to gang up on you?" Gambimaru replies, "Well, duh." Got that nigga Getsuya furious. Gambimaru then tells the man-woman Toma, "Oh yeah, I know you hate me too, so you can come at me first." Shino, being the first executioner to take down a Tenzin, says, "Oh yeah, since you're starting up trouble, I might as well go ahead and step in too." With another prisoner named Nurugai, I don't know how to say her name, so we're just gonna call her Nunu for right now, steps in as Shion, her master, did. Getsuya cuts off Toma's rope that had his hands tied, saying he can use his sword, as Gambimaru remembers everything he learned from his previous fights on the island, squaring up into a speed blitz by Toma, aiming straight for his head, but his Tao is too predictable, with Gambimaru brushing him off, giving Getsuya an opening, but Gambimaru dodges it, saying, "Normally I couldn't beat you because of your physical strength, but with Tao I can," putting his dirty ass feet on his chest and then sending him back. But Gambimaru knows this is not enough to beat the Tenzin, as they trained for 1,000 years at Tao manipulation, changing his approach as he's attacked from all directions, weaving Nunu, then grabbing her by the shirt and using her Tao as a counter to send everybody back. Then Nunu just starts glazing him, telling him, "You can kill a Tenzin with that. This dude just used you as a meat shield and you decided to just praise him for it." As Gambimaru disagrees, saying, "I still have a lot more to work on," as Toma walks up to Getsuya, begging him to train him because he's a weak ass nigga right now. Getsuya asking, "How am I supposed to trust you?" Toma, frustrated with himself, cuts off his hair, showing his conviction, gaining Getsuya's respect, saying, "Suit yourself, bring that sword along," as Toma is telling himself that he has to get stronger for his brother. And at the same time, his brother is getting his ass beat by Rien, the commander of the Tenzin, forcing Chobei to pop his ult, overwhelming Rien, bursting him into pieces. Imagine you just exerted 100% of your strength and then the person you fought just came back and said, "I don't believe it," being followed by an army of his clones. Overexerting himself, Chobei's Tao freezes him up, giving Rien the chance to 1-inch punch him into the chest, knocking him out and waking up tied to a bed. And this shit is crazy because Rien, who was just a man, just walked into the room as a a woman. And I ain't gonna show too much because YouTube will snipe my shit. So I'm gonna explain this as clear as I can. Rian gets on top, asking Chobei if he has any preferences or any act that he wants them to perform for him. But Chobei breaks his hand ties and tells them to answer his questions instead, asking what is this island. They tell him it's a research experiment facility that uses humans as test subjects, turning into trees as they die, living for almost 1,000 years, explaining the island was made by one human being. It be your own people experiment on humans, taking them and then mixing them all together like a smoothie king smoothie, then creating the elixir of life. But his tests are still imperfect, saying his old dad is still somewhere around here conducting his research. Bro lived over 3,000 years looking for immortality. Nigga, you already got it. As all this information is confirmed by Mei, right as Ren offers Chobei a deal to become one of the Tenzin on their path to perfection. Chobei, with no choice, has no other choice but to just get freaky with this nigga. I'll be honest, this is the freakiest shit I've watched since Redo a Healer. That shit was freaky. Checking in on Sagari's group, Mei isn't looking too hot, saying she lost something important, dealing with Rian in the past, being the reason why she ran away, saying when she uses too much Tao, her body turns into a tree. Sagari says get Gambimaru, but Mei says it wouldn't work, saying that that wouldn't be enough. But coincidentally, a head that is part tree is there, speaking, telling them to use his Tao since he's been alive for almost 1,000 years, saying let me take responsibility, saying that he met Mei a long time ago and raised her to be his daughter that he lost, crying, saying he's sorry for being a fraud. Mei, crying, wipes her tears, saying that you aren't a liar and that we were a real family, and that was the truth. Putting her hand out, absorbing this nigga for HP, and marking the end to this video. I want to talk to y'all real quick. I'm not going to take too much of y'all time. I was trying to sound a little bit new with this vid, nothing too crazy, a little bit meme sound here and there. So let me know in the comments if y'all fuck with that, if y'all want a little bit more of that. And I do fuck with some underrated anime, so in the community I will be communicating on what type of shows and stuff y'all want me to cover. I'm catching up on Invincible right now, so in the future I'll definitely probably do a video about that. But all in all, for the people who made it here, I love you, and why not 15 likes for an Invincible video? Why not? Let's do it. And that's it. I'm out, and always keep living easy.
Come on, man, that's too easy.